Imagine living a life so extraordinary, so mysterious, that even after you're gone, the world can't stop talking about you. For decades, the life of Michael Jackson, the king of pop, has captivated us not just for his unparalleled talent, but for the endless questions surrounding him. Now, at 94 years old, his mother, Katherine Jackson, is finally breaking her silence. She's ready to reveal the truths behind the rumors, secrets she's held on to for decades. What stories has she kept hidden all these years? And how will her words rewrite everything we thought we knew about Michael Jackson? From the moment Michael Jackson first stepped onto the stage as a young boy, there was something undeniably magical about him. His voice, his moves, his electrifying presence, all hinted at a star destined to outshine everyone else. And indeed he did. Michael became a global sensation, a phenomenon whose music broke boundaries, united cultures, and transcended languages. But while the world celebrated his every hit, his astonishing dance moves, and his sheer talent, there was a hidden story that few knew about, a side of Michael that lay behind the curtain, a side few had ever seen. For Michael, life wasn't just about the glittering lights, the chart-topping songs, or the adoring fans. Behind the fame, he waged silent battles daily, struggles known only to his closest family. Katherine Jackson, his mother, was one of the few who truly understood the immense weight he carried as the king of pop. She watched with both pride and concern as her son rose to unimaginable heights, but she also saw the toll fame took on him. The relentless scrutiny, the pressure to be perfect, and the isolation that comes with global stardom. All these shadows haunted Michael's life behind the scenes. To the public, Michael appeared untouchable, a superstar who could do no wrong, a man blessed with talent, wealth, and fame beyond measure. Yet, Katherine saw a different Michael, one who struggled to hold it all together. She knew about the sleepless nights, the constant anxiety, and the deep insecurities that weighed on him. To the world, he was a larger-than-life figure, but to his mother, he was her son, a man searching for a sense of normalcy in a life that was anything but normal. Now, as Katherine Jackson approaches her 94th birthday, she's ready to reveal the truths she's guarded all these years, sharing the hidden battles and intimate moments that define Michael's life beyond the public eye. Her story offers us a glimpse into the struggles that accompanied Michael's fame, a side that challenges everything we thought we knew about him. Through her words, we are invited to see Michael not just as an icon, but as a deeply human figure who bore the immense weight of his stardom with grace and resilience. And perhaps for the first time, we can understand the true cost of a life lived in the spotlight. Katherine Jackson has always been a figure of quiet strength, guarding her son Michael's legacy with dignity and protecting his memory from waves of rumors and relentless speculation. For years, she chose silence, keeping the most private parts of Michael's life within the family, out of respect for him and the need to preserve their privacy. But now, in the twilight of her own life, Katherine feels the time has come to speak up. Reflecting on her extraordinary journey as Michael's mother and his incredible, yet deeply challenging life, she knows these stories deserve to be told. Katherine wants the world to see Michael as she saw him, not just the polished public figure, the king of pop, but the man behind the mask. She's determined to set the record straight, to offer a portrait of Michael that goes beyond the sensational headlines and tabloid narratives. Her decision to reveal these truths now will have a profound impact, not only on the Jackson family, but on Michael's legacy itself, allowing the world to understand him in a way that has never been possible. Through Katherine's eyes, we're invited to glimpse the true Michael, a complex, deeply human figure who faced unimaginable challenges. Her revelations may very well reshape how we remember him, revealing the struggles, the fears, and the emotional toll that fame can exact on a person's life. As she shares these intimate details, Katherine reminds us of the human side of fame, the side so often overshadowed by the spotlight, yet so essential to understanding the real Michael Jackson. In showing us this side of him, Katherine opens a door for a deeper connection. Behind every superstar, she reminds us there's a person with real battles, vulnerabilities, and dreams. Her words offer us a chance to know Michael Jackson not just as a global icon, but as a man who, like anyone, had his struggles and fears. And perhaps, through her story, we'll come to see Michael not just as a legend, but as a person, a man who faced his battles with resilience, strength, and grace. Michael Jackson was born on August 29, 1958, in a modest two-bedroom home in Gary, Indiana, a working-class town far from the glitz and glamour his future would hold. He was the eighth of 10 children in the Jackson family, a family whose home overflowed with not only siblings, but also with dreams far grander than their surroundings. Life on Jackson Street was humble, yet within its walls were aspirations that would one day reshape the world of music. The Jackson family's dynamic was a blend of love, discipline, and relentless ambition. Katherine Jackson, Michael's mother, was the gentle, nurturing heart of the household. A devoted Jehovah's Witness, her faith influenced the values, discipline, and lifestyle within the Jackson home. Katherine possessed a deep love for music herself. She was musically gifted, playing the clarinet and piano with a talent and passion that she, like many women of her era, had set aside to care for her family. She dreamed of a life on stage, but practicality won out, and she took part-time work at Sears to make ends meet. However, her love for music was something she passed on to her children, making their home a sanctuary where melodies filled the air and helped ease the challenges of their everyday life. Katherine encouraged her children's musical gifts with a gentle touch, fostering in them a love of music. But it was Joe Jackson, their father, who took that budding passion and transformed it into something more, a path to fame and success. Joe's approach to parenting was strict, disciplined, and unyielding. He believed in hard work, sacrifice, and above all, perfection. For Joe, good enough was never enough, and he expected nothing less than absolute commitment from his children. Rehearsals were rigorous, and any mistake was met with immediate correction, often harshly. Hours would be spent perfecting each routine under Joe's intense gaze, knowing that even a small misstep would lead to consequences. Joe's desire to see his children succeed created an environment of intense pressure, one that Michael, even as a young boy, internalized deeply. While this discipline pushed Michael to heights he may never have reached otherwise, it also left lasting scars. The relentless pursuit of perfection, though it made him a musical icon, instilled a sense of fear and a pressure that would follow him throughout his life. Michael's journey to greatness began in that small, crowded home in Gary, nurtured by a mother's quiet encouragement and a father's relentless drive, two forces that would shape his life and legacy in profound, unforgettable ways. Despite the strict discipline and high expectations from his father, Michael thrived in this demanding environment. Even as a young boy, he possessed a natural stage presence and a voice that captivated everyone who heard it. His talent seemed almost otherworldly, especially for someone so young, and it wasn't long before the Jackson family's musical abilities began to draw attention. In 1964, at just 6 years old, Michael joined his brothers in a band that was originally called the Jackson Brothers. Alongside his older brothers and his younger brother Marlon, this group would later be known as the Jackson 5. What began as a family act at local venues quickly grew into something extraordinary. Their energetic performances, infectious harmonies, and undeniable charisma set them apart. But it was young Michael who stole the show, his voice reaching far beyond his years, and his dance moves electrifying every stage they graced. Their father's relentless push for perfection paid off when the Jackson 5 caught the attention of Motown Records, one of the most prestigious labels in the music industry. This was a pivotal moment for the family. Signing with Motown was their golden ticket out of Gary, Indiana, and into the national spotlight. Under the careful guidance of Motown's producers and mentors, the Jackson 5 polished their act, refining their performances to a level of professionalism that belied their youth. In 1969, their first single, I Want You Back, was released, and it rocketed to the top of the charts, signaling the arrival of a new musical phenomenon. With this initial success, the Jackson 5 didn't just make a splash, they made waves. Their energy and style were like a breath of fresh air, infusing the music industry with a youthful, vibrant sound that resonated deeply with fans. As the 1960s drew to a close, the world was undergoing tremendous change, and the Jackson 5 became a part of that transformation. Their music and image brought a unique blend of soul and pop that appealed to audiences across races and ages, breaking down barriers and uniting listeners. Michael's lead vocals became the group's defining sound, and soon, he was recognized as the standout star. Hits like ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There followed in quick succession, each one an anthem that would come to define a generation. The Jackson 5 weren't just successful, they became a cultural phenomenon. They captured the hearts of audiences everywhere, their meteoric rise signaling the start of a new era in music. Through sheer talent, hard work, and undeniable charm, the Jackson 5 secured their place in music history, paving the way for Michael's future as one of the most iconic figures in entertainment. The Jackson 5 brought a sound that was vibrant, youthful, and full of energy, a musical force that defied boundaries. In a time when racial tensions in America were at a peak, their music served as a bridge, resonating with both black and white audiences in a way that few acts had before. Their rhythm, soulful melodies, and infectious spirit crossed the divides of color and class, uniting listeners with each beat. These young boys from Gary, Indiana, did more than entertain. They made a statement, proving that talent knows no color. To countless fans, the Jackson 5 became symbols of hope, showing that dreams could come true regardless of background, and that unity could be found in the most unexpected places. Yet, while the world danced and sang along to the Jacksons' hits, a different story was unfolding behind the scenes. Fame and the weight of its demands pressed down on the young brothers, especially on Michael, who quickly became the star of the group. Thrust into the spotlight at an early age, he was expected to meet enormous standards and bear the responsibility of leading the family to success. While audiences saw the glitz and excitement, the Jackson household was filled with intense pressure and, at times, profound tension. Joe Jackson, the family's patriarch, was both their guiding force and, at times, a source of turmoil. Driven by his vision, he pushed his children relentlessly, demanding perfection and a level of discipline that few could imagine. Rehearsals were grueling, mistakes were not tolerated, and discipline was enforced strictly. Joe's harsh approach pushed his children to reach heights few thought possible, but it came at a price, especially for Michael. Sensitive and eager to please, Michael internalized the pressure more than his siblings. The fear of making mistakes, the fear of letting down his father, and the crushing expectation of being perfect weighed heavily on him. This constant scrutiny created a sense of isolation for Michael, even within his own family. As he bore the burden of expectations he felt he could never escape. While his brothers sometimes managed to brush off their father's intensity, Michael felt a deep need for approval that he carried into adulthood. The success of the Jacksons was, in many ways, a double-edged sword. It brought fame, wealth, and adoration, yet it also placed extraordinary demands on boys who were still finding their way in the world. Joe Jackson's relentless drive ensured that his children would achieve greatness, but it also left deep emotional scars, especially for Michael, whose struggles with self-worth and acceptance would follow him for the rest of his life. This early chapter of success was one of triumph and tragedy, a foundation for Michael's eventual stardom, but also for the inner battles that would haunt him for years to come. Michael Jackson's solo career was nothing short of a revolution. Although he had already reached fame as the magnetic frontman of the Jackson 5, Michael felt a fire within him that couldn't be contained within the boundaries of a family group. As he grew older, he knew he had to break free to explore a sound and identity that was entirely his own. It was time to step out on his own, and he was ready to redefine not only his career, but the very essence of pop music. Michael's first steps into solo artistry began with the release of early albums like Got to Be There and Ben in the early 1970s. These records showcased his raw talent and hinted at the depths of emotion and range he could convey. His voice became a powerful instrument, captivating listeners with its ability to move seamlessly from soulful vulnerability to exhilarating power. Yet, these early works were only a glimpse of what he was capable of. Michael was still discovering himself, still experimenting with who he wanted to be as an artist. The true breakthrough came with Off the Wall in 1979, a pivotal album that announced Michael Jackson's arrival as a solo powerhouse. Produced by the legendary Quincy Jones, Off the Wall was more than just an album. It was a declaration. Here was Michael Jackson, ready to step out of the shadow of his family and make his mark on the world. The album was a groundbreaking fusion of pop, funk, disco, and soul, showcasing his versatility and his fearless ability to blend genres effortlessly. With hits like Don't Stop, Till You Get Enough, and Rock With You, Michael captivated audiences and critics alike, and the album quickly soared to commercial and critical success. Off the Wall earned him his first Grammy Award and established him as a force to be reckoned with. But as groundbreaking as it was, Off the Wall was only a taste of what was to come. In 1982, Michael released Thriller, an album that would not only define his career, but also redefine the music industry. Thriller wasn't just an album. It was a cultural earthquake, shattering records and rewriting the rules. The title track's music video, with its iconic zombie dance and cinematic storytelling, became a sensation, while singles like Billie Jean and Beat It stormed the charts. Thriller would go on to become the best-selling album of all time, solidifying Michael's status as a global icon. It was more than music. It was an experience, a moment in history that transformed Michael Jackson into the king of pop. The making of Thriller was a masterclass in dedication and innovation. Michael Jackson, alongside the brilliant Quincy Jones, meticulously crafted each song to be both timeless and groundbreaking. They obsessed over every detail, from the instrumentation to the production, aiming to create something that would not only captivate listeners, but also leave a lasting impact on the music industry. The album explored themes that range from love and relationships to darker, more intense subjects like paranoia and fear, all woven together with Michael's unique style and signature intensity. Thriller resonated with people in a way that few albums had before. Its power went beyond the music. It broke through racial and cultural barriers, uniting audiences around the world and firmly establishing Michael as the king of pop. At a time when the world was divided in many ways, Thriller was a force that brought people together, transcending boundaries and sparking a cultural movement. But Michael didn't stop at redefining sound. He revolutionized the way music was presented visually. His music videos were not just promotional tools. They were groundbreaking cinematic events. The Thriller video, with its unforgettable zombie dance and intricate storyline, set a new standard in the industry. People gathered to watch it, dissect every scene, and mimic the iconic moves Michael brought to life. The video wasn't just a hit. It was a phenomenon forever changing what a music video could be. Michael was a force of nature on stage, mesmerizing audiences with performances that were nothing short of magical. His energy was electrifying, blending flawless choreography with an emotional intensity that left fans in awe. The moonwalk, a move that would become synonymous with his name, cemented his status as a pop culture icon. Michael wasn't just performing. He was creating unforgettable moments that would live on in the memories of everyone who watched him. His influence extended far beyond his music, paving the way for future generations of artists. He showed the world that it was possible to break boundaries and create something truly original. Michael inspired countless performers to push their creativity, to think bigger, and to embrace the bold and unexpected. His legacy lives on, seen in the music, dance, and style of artists around the world who continue to draw inspiration from his work. Yet, as Michael's fame reached astronomical heights, so did the challenges he faced. Behind the glittering facade, he was fighting private battles that would define the later years of his life. In the mid-1980s, he was diagnosed with vitiligo, a skin condition that causes loss of pigmentation. As his skin grew paler, rumors began to swirl, and the public, ever hungry for gossip, speculated wildly. Many ignored the truth of his condition, creating a media storm that added to the weight of his struggles, overshadowing the brilliance he shared with the world. Vitiligo was only one of the health challenges Michael faced. He also suffered from lupus, a debilitating autoimmune disease that added layers of pain and complexity to his life. To manage the visible effects of vitiligo, he turned to makeup and possibly skin-lightening treatments. But these choices only fueled the public's curiosity and gave rise to harmful speculation. The intense scrutiny of his appearance became a constant psychological strain. As a perfectionist deeply invested in his image, Michael found himself under relentless media pressure, each critical gaze adding to the weight he carried. Yet, the battle with his health was just the beginning. In 1984, a tragic incident while filming a Pepsi commercial left him with severe burns on his scalp. The accident was traumatic, and the physical pain it caused led to a dependency on painkillers, a struggle that would become a difficult, lifelong battle. As his fame grew and the pressures of his career intensified, his dependency worsened, casting a shadow over his life that he would fight to overcome until his final days. Then, in 1993, the most devastating blow to his life and career came when Michael was accused of inappropriate conduct with a child. The allegations shocked the world, marking a dark, irreversible turn in his life. The case was dissected and debated publicly, every detail sensationalized by a relentless media. For someone who had always guarded his privacy, the accusations and ensuing legal battle were shattering. Michael found himself in a fight not just for his reputation, but for everything he had worked for, everything he valued. The emotional toll of the accusations, coupled with his ongoing health struggles and his growing dependence on painkillers, pushed him to the edge. Though he ultimately settled the case out of court, the damage was irreparable. His reputation, once pristine, was tarnished, leaving a mark that would follow him for the rest of his life. Despite his determination to remain in the public eye and continue his career, the intense media scrutiny only escalated, overshadowing his achievements and painting him as a target for endless criticism and speculation. The relentless pressure took a profound toll on Michael's mental health. Behind his iconic persona, he struggled to balance the public's demand for perfection with his own private pain, a tragic reality that his mother, Katherine Jackson, has begun to share, shedding light on the human suffering behind his fame. For all his global fame and adoration, Michael longed for the same simple things we all do: love, companionship, a family to call his own. But life for Michael Jackson was never simple. His relationships, his role as a father, and his fierce protection of his children's privacy became yet more fodder for public fascination and relentless scrutiny. Despite everything, Michael sought a sense of normalcy, striving for love and family in a world that was rarely kind to him. Michael Jackson's marriage to Lisa Marie Presley in 1994 seemed like a storybook romance. Two music legends joining forces, the king of pop and the daughter of the king of rock and roll. The union mesmerized the world as fans and tabloids alike watched this pairing of two iconic legacies. But beneath the glitzy surface, their relationship was more than just a headline-grabbing spectacle. Michael and Lisa Marie shared a profound connection, one that was rooted in an understanding of the pressures that come with living in the spotlight. Both had grown up under intense scrutiny, and this shared experience created a bond few others could understand. From the outset, however, their relationship was met with a wave of skepticism. Many questioned the authenticity of their marriage, speculating that it was a publicity stunt, especially given the timing, just months after Michael had faced a highly publicized legal battle. Yet those close to the couple spoke of a genuine bond. Lisa Marie became someone Michael could trust deeply, someone who understood the weight of fame and the complexities of his life. Still, the demands of Michael's career and the unyielding media pressure took a toll on their relationship. After less than 2 years of marriage, they divorced in 1996, yet the connection between them remained strong. They continued to care for one another, maintaining a bond that would last until Michael's final days. Not long after his divorce from Lisa Marie, Michael found a different path to family with Debbie Rowe, a dermatology nurse he had met years earlier. Their marriage was unconventional from the start. Unlike a traditional romantic union, Debbie and Michael's relationship was more of an arrangement, with a shared purpose. Debbie agreed to help Michael realize his dream of fatherhood. Together, they welcomed 2 children, Michael Joseph Jackson Jr., affectionately known as Prince, and Paris Michael Katherine Jackson. The birth of his children was transformative for Michael. Being a father was a role he cherished deeply, and Debbie's role in helping him achieve that dream held a special place in his heart. Though they separated in 1999, Michael and Debbie remained on amicable terms, with Debbie granting him full custody of their children. In 2002, Michael welcomed his 3rd child, Prince Michael Jackson II, famously known as Blanket. While the identity of Blanket's mother was kept private, Michael once again took full custody, embracing the role of single father. His children were the center of his universe, and he was committed to giving them as normal a life as possible, a nearly impossible task given his extraordinary fame. Michael's love for Prince, Paris, and Blanket was boundless, and he dedicated himself to providing them with a safe, loving environment, even as he navigated the challenges and chaos of his public life. Michael's fierce desire to protect his children's privacy often put him on a precarious balance between his personal life and public image. Nowhere was this more evident than in the notorious Blanket incident of 2002. In a fleeting moment outside a Berlin hotel, Michael leaned over the balcony, holding his infant son, Blanket, to greet fans below. Captured instantly by the ever-vigilant paparazzi, the scene exploded across media channels and became one of the most controversial moments of his life. The brief action, intended as a joyful display, was met with widespread criticism, and Michael faced harsh backlash for what many saw as a dangerous choice. Later, Michael expressed regret for the incident, explaining that he had been swept up in the excitement of the moment and had never meant to put his child at risk. However, the image of that day remained etched in the public's memory, fueling endless speculation and criticism around his parenting choices and adding to the scrutiny he already faced. In the final years of his life, Michael prepared for what was meant to be a triumphant return to the stage. Announced in March 2009, his This Is It concert series, planned as 50 shows at London's O2 Arena, was not merely a tour. It was to be his grand re-entry, a reminder to the world of why he was, and always would be, the king of pop. The announcement sent shockwaves of excitement through fans and the music industry alike. Tickets sold out within minutes, and anticipation grew as people around the world waited to witness Michael's return to the spotlight. For Michael, This Is It was more than just a performance. It was a quest for redemption. After years of controversies, personal struggles, and battles in the public eye, he saw this as his moment to set the record straight. This series of concerts was a chance for him to reclaim his throne, to prove once again the brilliance and artistry that had made him a global icon. Behind the scenes, Michael poured himself into every detail, from choreography to set design, ensuring that every aspect of the show was perfect. Those close to him spoke of his unwavering dedication, his drive to show the world that he was still the greatest entertainer on earth. This Is It was Michael's bold declaration: "I'm still here, and I'm still the best." The rehearsals, immortalized in the documentary film of the same name, showed glimpses of the Michael everyone knew and loved, passionate, vibrant, and fully committed to his craft. But before this dream could be realized, tragedy struck. On June 25, 2009, just weeks before his grand comeback, Michael Jackson died suddenly from cardiac arrest at his Los Angeles home. The world was left in shock, reeling from the loss of a man who had seemed larger than life, whose music had touched countless lives. In an instant, a legend was gone, leaving behind a legacy that would forever change the world of music and entertainment. The grief that followed Michael Jackson's death was overwhelming and immediate. Fans, celebrities, and people from every corner of the globe came together in shock and sorrow, mourning the loss of an artist who had shaped pop culture itself. What was supposed to be his triumphant return to the stage turned, instead, into a heartbreaking finale. Instead of a historic comeback, the world was left with an unfinished legacy and a multitude of questions. How could someone who had seemed so alive, so vibrant in rehearsals, preparing for one of the most anticipated performances of his life, be gone in an instant. The circumstances surrounding Michael's sudden death only deepened the mystery and sadness that had often followed him throughout his life. In the years since his passing, Michael's legacy has continued to grow, evolving through the power of his music and the stories that refuse to fade. His influence remains undeniable. His songs, Billie Jean, Thriller, Man in the Mirror, are timeless, resonating across generations with messages that are as relevant today as they were decades ago. Artists from all genres still cite him as an inspiration, drawing from his pioneering music, his electrifying dance moves, and his fearless approach to performance. Yet, Michael's legacy is complex, marked not only by his groundbreaking artistry, but also by the darker aspects of his life. The allegations, the relentless legal battles, and the intense scrutiny he endured have left lasting scars on his memory. Even in death, these controversies persist, coloring the way the world remembers him. Documentaries, news stories, and ongoing legal cases have kept discussions about Michael alive, with opinions about him as divided as ever. Adding a new dimension to this story, Katherine Jackson, Michael's mother, has recently begun to share her personal insights into his life. As someone who knew him better than anyone else, her words offer a deeper, more nuanced view of Michael, beyond the public figure and into the man she knew. Through her revelations, Katherine speaks to the challenges he faced, the immense pressures, and the pain he bore in silence. Her perspective doesn't just tell us about Michael's life. It adds a human element to his legacy, allowing us to see beyond the glittering persona that captivated millions. Katherine's reflections could reshape how future generations perceive Michael, bringing much-needed context to a life so often misunderstood. Her final revelations invite the world to look at Michael Jackson through a fresh lens, to understand the man behind the legend. In doing so, she offers an opportunity for his story to be remembered with compassion and depth, bridging the gap between the superstar and the human being he truly was. Katherine Jackson has always been the quiet strength of the Jackson family, the unwavering presence behind her son's legacy through every twist and turn. Now, as she approaches her 94th birthday, she has chosen to share stories that, until now, were held within the walls of their family home. These revelations are not just fleeting memories. They open a door to understanding the man behind the public persona, offering an intimate look at the real Michael Jackson. Katherine's words reveal the private battles Michael faced, struggles that were hidden behind the bright lights and the applause. She speaks of the immense pressure he carried, the weight of maintaining his place as the king of pop. His fame came with profound loneliness, an isolation that few could see or comprehend, and an emotional toll from years of relentless scrutiny that left scars invisible to the world. In addition to these emotional challenges, Katherine sheds light on Michael's health struggles, his battle with vitiligo and lupus, conditions that were not only painful, but often misunderstood by the public. The judgment he faced over his appearance, even as he suffered privately, added a layer of complexity to his life that only those closest to him truly understood. Katherine's perspective adds a human touch to his story, allowing us to see beyond the icon and recognize the man who bore these hardships with resilience and grace. The impact of these revelations is profound. For the Jackson family, this is a moment of truth, a chance to bring clarity to the many misconceptions that have long surrounded Michael. For his fans, it offers a rare opportunity to connect with him on a personal level, to glimpse the human complexity of his life beyond the stage. And for the entertainment industry at large, Katherine's story serves as a poignant reminder of the real cost of fame, of the tremendous pressures that come with living in the public eye, and the need for compassion in the way we remember those who have shared their gifts with the world. These insights reshape the narrative of Michael Jackson's life, urging us to remember that every legendary figure has fears, vulnerabilities, and battles often hidden from view. Katherine's revelations help us see Michael as more than just an entertainer. They allow us to appreciate his strength, his humanity, and the courage with which he faced his struggles. This deeper understanding doesn't just enrich his legacy. It challenges us to approach the lives of cultural icons with empathy, to honor their triumphs and recognize their trials. So, what are your thoughts on this? Share them in the comments below, and let's explore the many sides of Michael's remarkable story together.